Hello, Algebra Scholars. In section 2.6, Solving Inequalities, one of the most important things we have to be able to do is to be able to graph the solutions to an inequality on a number line. And we have a very specific set of rules to follow here for graphing on a number line. All of these rules, though, it's really important. These rules only work if the variable is on the left side of the inequality. So let's move this up out of the way a little bit. And we have two sets of rules. So if the variable is on the left, if we have less than or greater than, we're going to put an open circle at the number. If we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we're going to put a closed circle on the number. Then, if we have less than or equal to, we shade left. If we have greater than or equal to, we will shade right. So, for example, if we end up with y is less than -4, and we want to graph that solution on a number line, here's 0, here's -4. So we're first going to determine if we want a open circle or a closed circle. Since it's a less than with no equal to underneath, we're going to put an open circle at -4. And since it is less than, we are going to shade to the left, like so. So everything less than -4 will be a solution. The second example, let's say we are trying to shade, to solve or to graph z is greater than or equal to -1. Well, we'll draw a number line. Here's 0, here's -1. Because it's greater than or equal to, we put a closed circle at -1. And because it is greater than, we're going to shade everything to the right of -1. So all of the points to the right of -1 would be solutions to this inequality. This example asks us to describe, oops, got an extra L in there. There's no L in describe, just ignore that. To describe each graph. We're not given a variable, so we can really pick anything we want. I'm just going to go with x. So all the points that are shaded on the first graph are to the right of 6. So we're going to say this graph represents all x values that are greater than 6. Everything to the right means greater than, everything to the left means less than. I use greater than because it was an open circle. On this one, it's everything to the left of -2, but it's also including -2 because of the closed circle. So we're going to say x is less than or equal to -2. And here we will say it is everything to the left of 0. So we will say x is less than 0, but not including 0. And the rest of section 2.6 is really devoted to solving inequalities. And all of the rules that we developed in section 2.1 and 2.2 for solving first-degree equations, all those rules still apply to solving first-degree inequalities. There's only one difference, and that's noted here in my little remember. If you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, you must change the direction of the inequality. For example, if you have -2x is less than 6, and you say, well, to solve I have to divide by this -2, you have to change the less than sign to a greater than sign. Then, as long as bearing that in mind, along with all of our other rules that we learned earlier, and remember those rules are parentheses, fractions, combine like terms, variables on the left, constants on the right, and divide by the leading coefficient, we can still apply this series of steps to solve inequalities, just remembering that if we divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, and that's usually only going to happen here in this last step, we have to switch the direction of the inequality. And let's move these rules up a little bit, and let's use our old series of steps right here and combine with our new idea of dividing by a negative to switch the direction to solve the following inequality. 1/2 times 1/3 minus 2x minus 1, not equals, we need an inequality. Let's make that is greater than 4. Okay, so let's distribute. 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6. 1/2 times negative 2x is x. Minus 1 is greater than 4. We have to clear the fractions. The LCD is 6. So I'm going to multiply every single term by 6. It's going to give me 1 minus 6x minus 6 is greater than 24. The next step here is to combine like terms. Negative 5 minus 6x is greater than 24. My variables are already on the left. I just have to get my constants over to the right. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Negative 6x is greater than 29. Let's move that to here. And now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. I'm dividing by a negative, so I must switch the greater than sign to a less than sign. So my final answer is x is less than negative 29/6. As long as you remember all of our steps from earlier in the chapter combined with this new rule, you're going to do just fine here in section 2.6.